Think about where you live right now, and think about where you were born. If you want, you can even comment it below. Remember this. We'll come back to it later. There are 6 kids in my family, and we essentially live all around the world. I live here in Germany. My brother Mikey lives in Italy. Brother Joey lives in Chicago. Brother Anthony, Los Angeles. Brother Andy in Oakland. And our sister Jamie in Oregon. We are spread out all throughout the world, basically. And we're actually a super close family. It's not like we're estranged and can't stand to be around each other. We all love each other. We really look forward to the times of the year where we're all home together in Oregon. All the Alfieri boys and Matt Fay. We are going bouldering. We're very, very close, yet we're still spread out. And I actually don't think that our family story is that unique for American families. Then when I contrast this with the families that I know in Germany, this is kind of shocking. I mean, it's not uncommon for 3 generations of families here in Germany to live under one roof.
I wasn't comfortable at the beginning. Once you see that this is more normal, I know in the first maybe a year or two before when that topic first came up, it was like, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? Like, we're gonna live with your parents? But no, I mean, there's a lot of perks to it.
And it's kind of unheard of for German families to spread out in the way that mine has. Where are you from?
I'm actually from Schwäbisch Hall.
Where do you live now?
Now I live in Sulzdorf, which is also part of Schwäbisch Hall, so not gone any farther than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever lived somewhere else other than Schwäbisch?
No,
Yeah.
and I don't plan to move far away from here. So this intrigued me to look at some actual data and statistics, and what I found was absolutely fascinating. First, let's talk about my people, the Americans.
I thought this was America! Huh? Isn't this America?
This really surprised me. 41% of Americans live in a different state than the state they were born in. 41%, I mean that's nearing half of Americans.
In 2022, over 800,000 Americans left California for other states.
This indicates that Americans are very mobile. Now, I checked out some recent statistics on how many people moved each year, and in 2019, 2020, and 2021, about 8 million Americans moved to different states each one of those years. It's like 10% of Germany's whole population each year moving to a different state. All right, now let's look at Germans moving between different German states. And for my American viewers, yes, Germany has states. There are 16 of them. They're called Bundeslands and is the equivalent of our American states. I live in the 3rd largest state in the south of Germany, Baden-Württemberg. Many Americans probably know about the largest and most famous German state, Bavaria. This guy, yeah, you can go. He's totally a cool guy. He stopped, the van stopped while I was shooting my video. Good vibes in Schwäbisch Hall today. Now, Germany, of course, is much smaller geographically than the United States, and its states are smaller, and the distance between states are smaller. Overall, it's about 28 times smaller than the United States. Germany is approximately half the size of Texas, our 2nd biggest state. So you might think that, okay, because it's a smaller geographical area, moving between one German state and another is not so big a deal. Probably tons of Germans do it, more than Americans at least, right? Wrong. 10%, only 10% of Germans live in a different German state than the one they were born in. So just to recap, 41% of Americans versus just 10% of Germans. Pretty big difference. Do you ever consider living in a different German state, a different Bundesland?
Never say no, but probably not.
Now, side note, I don't know if this is entirely relevant, but there's always those people who like to compare American states and EU countries. They make this comparison. Oh, a different EU country is like a different American state. And I understand it's kind of similar geographically. You know, there's free travel and open borders between the two, but it's a lot different. But just for fun, let's look at the amount of Germans who live in a different European country than Germany. Only 4%.
All right, so we've established that Americans are much more likely than Germans to move further away, to move to a different state and live farther away from their families. But why? Speaking of living in a different place than where you were born, me living in Germany has brought on a little bit of a problem. Guys, fun fact, Laura and I have been recently watching one of my favorite shows of all time, The Sopranos on HBO. The only problem is HBO is geo-blocked here in Germany. Luckily, I have a solution for that. It's the sponsor of today's video, CyberGhost VPN. CyberGhost is a world-leading VPN or virtual private network that has over 9,000 servers in 90 different countries. And you can switch your IP address around between the servers. And this is how we watch The Sopranos here in Germany, among some of our other favorite streaming platforms that are not available here, like Paramount Plus and Hulu. For my German viewers, you can actually watch Formula One again for free in Germany if you switch your IP address to Austria and watch on the ORF channel. But not only that, CyberGhost helps protect you and keep you anonymous online. It's 2024 and everyone wants your data and they want to get it, they want to sell it. And CyberGhost helps protect you from that. And it's not just me saying that. CyberGhost has 38 million users worldwide and is the #1 most recommended VPN on Trustpilot. CyberGhost works on every major platform, and a cool thing is one account can be used on 7 different devices, so you can share it with friends and family. They also have a strict no logs policy, so CyberGhost doesn't even know what you're doing online. Now, if you sign up for CyberGhost using the link in the description, you'll get a great deal, 83% off, paying just over €2 a month, plus 4 months free. Plus, there's a 45-day money-back guarantee, so it's risk-free. This is an awesome product that I highly recommend. It's something that I use every single day, multiple times a day. And if you sign up using the link in the description, not only is it a great product for you, but it also helps support me and this YouTube channel. So check out CyberGhost in the link below. All right, back to the video. So it's abundantly clear. Americans are more likely to move and live further away from where they were born than Germans. But what is the reason for this? All right, let's see what my really smart friends think about this subject.
I feel like it's more common in the US to like change jobs more often and also like move for work like somewhere else. At least that's what my experience from working with a lot of American people is.
Adrian is correct here. Germany has an extensive social welfare program that provides benefits and support for things like healthcare and unemployment benefits, which makes moving less necessary. Whereas in the United States, a lot of times these benefits like healthcare are tied to employment. It's tied to your job, which can drive Americans to move for better employment opportunities.
In Germany, I feel like it's more common to do like Ausbildung or study somewhere close to home and stay there, like find a job in the area where you grow up, like stay a lot more with your parents.
So historically in the United States, people have been encouraged and incentivized to move to some of these major hubs, whether it be New York City or Los Angeles or San Francisco. I know this is changing a little bit now in sort of the work from home era, but historically Americans have been very driven to move to some of these areas to advance in their career. Whereas in Germany, the economy is actually a little bit more evenly distributed throughout different regions of the country, and strong worker and labor protections are more common, and this decreases the need for geographic mobility for your job. And here are 2 other possible explanations that I think are pretty valid.
In Germany, it's not so easy to get new friends, so you try to stay in your bubble.
One of the bigger things is it's more normal for Europeans to like live at home. You're 27 living at home because you're just saving money, and especially when it comes to like all the school stuff. After 1 year, if you could pay back half of your debt, the other half is gone. Oh yeah. So then people come back and they just live at home, so they're not paying for housing and stuff. Save money, pay off, and then half your debt's gone. So I think that's why it's just more normal that you see that there's 2-3 generations in a house. Whereas in the US, it's like if you're 23 living at home, you're a failure. And like, oh my God, how could you be living at home?
I love this part of Schwäbisch Hall. This is kind of on the other side of the river. It's a little bit quieter. There's not really cafes or shops or anything. It's mostly residential, but a nice little chill, quiet part of the town. And finally, an explanation that I really like and I think really holds true. So we all know that Americans are the descendants of people who at one time or another left their home country in search
of a better life in the United States, whether that was 6 generations ago or 1 generation ago. So we know that the United States is full of people who come from people who are willing to move for a better life, to pick up everything in their life in their old country in search of a life in the United States that they hoped would be better. Many of you guys know that I have my Italian citizenship and did a lot of research on my family ancestry and learned about, my great-grandparents, people who came over from Italy and Germany to the United States. It makes me think a lot about that. Whereas Germans, especially in the 20th century after the World War, sort of fostered this culture of rebuilding and collective coming together and sort of starting a new life with where you are and what you have. I know of many German families whose great-grandparents settled in an area after the war, and they built their entire family and entire life there, and all the generations of the family since then live in that area, and like we touched on, some even in the same houses. So I think culturally and historically there's a huge difference here that plays a role in why Americans are much more willing to move far away.
Now, after watching this video, what do you think about where you live now versus where you were born? And what are your thoughts on why there's such a big difference between Germans and Americans on this subject? Let me know in the comments.
All right, guys, that is going to be all for today. I want to give a shout out again to the lovely sponsor of today's video, our friends at CyberGhost VPN, an awesome VPN at a great price. Check them out using the link in the description for a great deal. Thank you, CyberGhost. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time.